everybody. So it's Sunday. That means it's time for family movie night. And this week, we're continuing my Disney Scares Month. We're going to talk about an obscure film that probably a lot of you have never heard of, but I actually really enjoyed it. It's called Mr. Boogedy. And there's also The Bride of Boogedy that we'll talk a little bit about. This was actually a made-for-TV movie that came out on Disney's, I think it was a Disney Channel Sunday movie night that they had it. And it's directed by Oz Scott is his name, and I found a really great interview with Oz Scott about this movie and all the creativity that went into it. And I think that this is a really good way to introduce your kids to the idea of a scary movie without it being too scary. It never takes itself too seriously. There's never anybody that's really like hurt or anything too upsetting that happens in this film. And basically, it's just kind of a classic ghost story. They have this family moves to town, and there's dad, mom, an older daughter who's played by Christy Swanson. They're in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, and so she's the oldest daughter. And then there are two sons. One of them played by David Faustino, who you'd see in Married with Children. It was made in 1986. And this family moves to this town called Lucifer Falls, which is like such an over-the-top like horror movie name for a town, Lucifer Falls. And that's just kind of the way this is. This is just sort of, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's kind of silly. And I just had a really good time watching it. I thought it was very fun. And so basically there's this like sort of scary house that they move into, and it's haunted house. And it's all disheveled, and there's this tale that the local man in the town, he tells Mr. Witherspoon tells them about the tale of Mr. Boogedy. He's this pilgrim man, Mr. Boogedy, that he fell in love with this woman named Marion, and Marion didn't like him. He made a deal with the devil, selling his soul for a magic cloak, which granted him mystical powers. He kidnaps Marion's son, Jonathan, and casting his first spell, accidentally destroys his own house, killing himself, Jonathan, and Marion, and all three remained ghosts. Boogedy and Jonathan, who had a cold when he died, are trapped inside the house, and Marion is unable to enter and get her child back. So you have these three sort of ghosts, including Mr. Boogedy, that are in the house. And what kind of works is that the dad of the family is this sort of novelty salesman. And so he's always tricking them with all these like false scares and all these, all these jokes. And then you have like the real scares. And there was a good job of giving those scares that kids will really like. But then also just kind of having a fun spirit about it, and not taking itself too seriously, but building up tension. I thought the music was really good. By the end, you're kind of, oh, what are they going to do? Are they going to get away from Mr. Boogedy? And they definitely got sort of old school special effects, and it's so like stylized that I don't think any kid will be too scared by it. I really don't. Like their hair like goes flying up at one point, and there's all this like green goo. It's just very sort of old school, like no special effects, just a fun old-fashioned ghost story. And I really enjoyed it. It was very fun experience to watch, and it's only 45 minutes, so it reminded me of sort of Are You Afraid of the Dark, or some of those old shows that they used to have that were scary, but they were totally okay for like kids, and because I think that's fun for kids to experience. Bride of Boogedy, though, I wasn't as big a fan of. I felt like the dad was actually kind of mean in that one, and just after he had already experienced this, it was hard to believe that he would be the way that he is in that one. And it's a lot longer. It's like almost an hour longer. And I grew weary of it. So I would really recommend watching just the first one, Mr. Boogedy. And I think you'll have a really good time with your family watching Mr. Boogedy. And I would skip The Bride of Boogedy personally. I know a lot of people have nostalgia for that one, but I don't know. I didn't think it really worked as well. It wasn't as silly and enjoyable to watch. So that's sort of my thoughts on this very obscure Disney film. Let me know what you think of this, if you've heard of it. If anybody's heard of it, put in the comments section where you've heard of it and if you've seen it and what you think of it if you've seen it. I would love to hear I would love to just hear if anybody's heard of it, because I thought it was very random and I found it and I was so excited. So that's sort of my thoughts on Mr. Boogedy. Let me know what you think. And next week we'll be doing our final week of the Disney Scares month, and we will be looking at Halloween Town, the first one. So I'm really excited about that. I haven't seen any of those movies, so it should be fun. So let me know what you think, and thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!